Okay, we're going to be bringing you the breaking news that is taking place in this story in just a second. Now, we are, as we said, tracking the Sandeshkhali story. These visuals coming in right now are of the protest turning violent, as we just said. Angry villagers, as you can see, protesting. These are protests that have been taking place over the last few days. Now we're learning the Supreme Court will be hearing the Sandeshkhali violence case tomorrow. We'll have a reporter join us to bring us more context on what could take place next. Exactly what are the allegations? Remember, locals have been protesting over the last few days. They first protested more than a week ago. Women armed with lathis turning up at police offices across the Sandeshkhali region, saying that TMC leaders had been systematically engaging in a system of abuse. They were saying that land grabbing was taking place. There was an entire land grabbing racket in place. B, they were saying that workers were being forced to perform labor without being paid. Now, the third allegation was one of sexual harassment, and that one initially was harder to prove, with women seemingly hesitant to come forward, reporters reporting different versions of what was taking place. It's the BJP's Smriti Irani, their union minister, who in a press conference first solidly confirmed these claims that women were making. Right now, our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar with us. The Supreme Court saying, Ananya, that they're going to be hearing this case tomorrow. Can you bring us more context?
Well, definitely, the Supreme Court is going to hear this petition filed by Advocate Alakh Srivastav. This is a matter before the bench headed by Justice B.V. Nagratna. And very, very clearly and categorically, Mr. Alakh Srivastav has, asked that there should be a SIT probe. If not SIT probe, there should be the Central Bureau of Investigation that should be probing this particular matter with regards to Sandeshkhali. The NCW reports had revealed that there have been perpetrated violence by, in fact, the police officers of the West Bengal as well. So all these allegations needs to be, investigated by a central agency like the Central Bureau of Investigation, or at least a court-monitored probe should be there. Just like in the Manipur case, there should also be a court-monitored probe in the Sandeshkhali violence and the sexual assault cases that's taking place.
Appearing in the Supreme Court tomorrow, which sides will be represented? Can you just bring our audiences more context?
Well, definitely, Alakh Srivastav had filed this particular petition before the Supreme Court, seeking a SIT probe in this particular case. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out, and the good question is that who will be appearing for the West Bengal government and who will be defending them when it comes to this whole case, because, there have been counterclaims by the opposition parties, including that of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the West Bengal, that, there is a lot of chaos in the state of West Bengal just because of this whole case. And in fact, today, All India Bar Association also sent a letter to the West Bengal Chief Minister to look into this particular matter. But how things pan out is something that we'll get to know.
Ananya, we'll just come back to you in a second. Agnimitra Paul putting out this response. She's a legislator. Take a look.
इतना दिन तो टीएमसी बोल रहा था कि कुछ घटना हुआ ही नहीं है। ममता बनर्जी बोल रहे थे कुछ घटना हुआ ही नहीं है। जब एक महिला जिसका बलात्कार हुआ है वो जाके जवानबंदी देता है मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने, 164 होता है, तब पुलिस एक्नॉलेज करता है कि ना हुआ है। 8 महिला एफआईआर कंप्लेन दिए है, वो 8 महिला के ऊपर कोई कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं हुआ है? आप लोग टीएमसी लोग और ममता बनर्जी का नेतृत्व में संदेशखाली में हिंदू महिला के ऊपर जो शोषण हुआ है, महीनों पर महीनों, ये ढक देने का कोशिश कर रहे मुख्यमंत्री। और हम लोग आज राजनीतिक प्रस्ताव में हम पश्चिम बंगाल की तरफ से संदेशखाली में क्या क्या घटना हुआ है, ये मुख्यमंत्री 1000 रुपया हिंदू महिला को देकर हिंदू महिला का संभ्रम भेंट देना चाहते हैं जिहादी लोग के हाथ में, ये हम सबको खुलासा कर दिया, सबको बोल।
Okay, let's go back to our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar. Ananya, tell our audiences a little bit more about the journey that this entire story has made to getting to the court. Who, for example, as you were telling us earlier, is the petitioner? Obviously, some questions remain as to who, for example, is going to represent the West Bengal government. But just tell us more about what could play out tomorrow. Okay, we'll look to re-establish our connection with my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar. He is our legal correspondent. As we were telling you earlier, this entire story has been playing out over the last few days. But in fact, it is over the last few months that the Sandeshkhali island in West Bengal's North 24 district has come